I am 25, am engaged to my fiancée, F29, and I really need advice about my current situation. This has been destroying me inside for weeks now and I need to get this off my chest. I never thought I'd be writing something like this on Reddit, but here I am. I met Sarah, not her real name, 3 years ago at my cousin's housewarming party. She was friends with my cousin's wife from college, and we instantly hit it off. From the very beginning, we were completely open with each other about what we wanted in a relationship. I told her about my family history, how my mom had cheated on my dad throughout my teenage years and lied about it until I was 17. I discovered her affairs accidentally when I saw her with another man at a restaurant when she was supposed to be working late. When I confronted her, she lied straight to my face and tried to convince me I was imagining things. That discovery tore our family apart. My dad was devastated when he found out, and their divorce was really messy. It affected me deeply, and I spent years in therapy dealing with trust issues. Because of this, I made it absolutely clear to Sarah that honesty was my #1 requirement in any relationship. I told her I could handle anything except lying, even if the truth was painful, I needed to know it. Sarah completely understood. She shared her own experiences with betrayal in past relationships and agreed that honesty should be our foundation. We even made it our thing. We would have regular truth sessions where we could ask each other anything and promise complete honesty. These sessions helped us build what I thought was an unshakable trust. Our relationship progressed naturally. We moved in together after a year, got a dog together, and started talking about marriage. I proposed 6 months ago during a trip to the beach where we had our first vacation together. It was perfect, and she said yes immediately. We started planning our wedding for next spring, and everything seemed amazing. The first red flag, the problem started about 3 months ago. Sarah's phone kept buzzing one night while she was in the shower. I noticed it was messages from someone saved as Mike Work, but the preview showed messages that seemed very personal. When she got out of the shower, I asked her about it. She got defensive at first but then admitted it was her ex-boyfriend. She said they had reconnected on LinkedIn because they work in the same industry, and they'd been catching up. I was hurt that she had hidden this from me and saved his number under a fake name. When I asked how long they'd been talking, she claimed it was just a few days. But when I asked to see the messages, she refused, saying it would be a violation of privacy. This led to our first major fight. Finally, she showed me the messages, and I discovered they'd been talking for over 2 months, including meeting for coffee twice. She swore nothing inappropriate happened and showed me all their conversations to prove it. While the messages weren't flirty, the fact that she had hidden this from me and saved his number under a fake name really bothered me. After long discussions, she agreed to cut contact with him and showed me proof that she had blocked him everywhere. I decided to give her another chance because everything else in our relationship was so good. The breaking point, last week, everything fell apart. Sarah's best friend's brother, James, got married. Sarah said she couldn't attend because of an important work presentation. I was disappointed but understood. She'd been working really hard for a promotion. The next day, I attended a family dinner at her best friend Katie's house. Sarah couldn't come because she had a migraine. During dinner, Katie's mom was showing everyone old family photos. She came across one from about 6 years ago and said, "Oh look, this was from when James and Sarah got engaged. Such a shame it didn't work out, but look how happy they were." I nearly choked on my food. Katie's mom realized her mistake immediately and tried to change the subject, but the damage was done. Katie pulled me aside and confirmed that yes, Sarah and James had been engaged. They had lived together for 6 months before the engagement ended badly when James supposedly cheated with their roommate. I was stunned. In 3 years together, through all our truth sessions, through our own engagement, Sarah had never once mentioned that she had been engaged before. She had told me she and James briefly dated in college but it wasn't serious. Every time we were around their family, everyone had apparently been instructed not to mention it. I left the dinner early and went home to confront Sarah. At first, she tried to deny it, saying Katie's mom was confused. When I showed her the old engagement photo that Katie had sent me, she broke down crying. She admitted everything, the 6-month relationship, the engagement, living together. She said she hid it because she was ashamed of how it ended and didn't want me to think she had baggage. The part that kills me is thinking about all the moments she actively lied. When we went ring shopping and she acted like it was her first time. When we talked about living together and she pretended she'd never lived with a partner before. When we discussed wedding venues and she gave opinions like someone who had never planned a wedding before. I feel like our entire relationship was built on lies. If she could lie about something this significant for 3 years, what else has she lied about? How can I trust anything she's told me about her past? She's begging for another chance, saying she'll go to therapy and prove she can be honest, but I don't know if I can ever look at her the same way again. My parents think I should end things immediately. They lived through lies destroying their marriage and don't want the same for me. My friends are split, some say I'm making too big a deal about her past, while others say this level of deception is unforgivable. I haven't made any decisions yet. We're still living together but sleeping in separate rooms. She's been crying constantly and saying she'll do anything to fix this, but I don't know if it can be fixed. Every time I look at her, I wonder what else she's hiding. Am I overreacting to this? Should I try to work through it or accept that this is a sign we shouldn't get married? I really need some outside perspective here because I can't think straight anymore. Update 1. First, I want to thank everyone who commented on my original post. Reading your responses helped me realize I needed to have a serious conversation with Sarah before making any decisions. Many of you suggested that there might be more to the story, and unfortunately, you were right. After reading all your comments, I decided to sit down with Sarah last weekend. I told her that if there was any chance of saving our relationship, I needed complete honesty about everything, no matter how painful or uncomfortable. I explained that this was her one chance to come clean about any other secrets she might be keeping from me. She was quiet for a long time, and I could see she was struggling with something. Finally, she started talking, and what she revealed made everything so much worse. It turns out that her ex-fiancé James had reached out to her about a month before our engagement. He was going through a rough divorce and wanted to talk to someone who would understand. Sarah agreed to meet him for coffee, and they ended up talking for hours. She said they met 3 more times after that, always in public places, and always just to talk. When I asked why she never mentioned these meetings, she said she was afraid I would misunderstand. She claimed she was just being a friend to someone going through a hard time, and she didn't tell me because she knew about my trust issues from my parents' situation. The irony of her lying to avoid triggering my trust issues is apparently lost on her. But that wasn't even the worst part. Remember the roommate who allegedly slept with James and ended their engagement? Well, it turns out Sarah is still friends with her. They supposedly worked through their issues years ago and now meet up regularly when this friend visits town. All those times Sarah told me she was having girls' nights with old college friends, she was actually hanging out with the woman who supposedly helped destroy her previous engagement. I asked her how she could possibly be friends with someone who had such a devastating impact on her life. Her response was vague. She talked about forgiveness and personal growth, but something felt off about her explanation. When I pressed her for more details, she got defensive and accused me of interrogating her. The conversation got heated at this point. I asked her how I was supposed to believe anything she said when she had been lying so effortlessly for our entire relationship. She broke down crying and revealed that there were other small lies too. Times she said she was working late when she was actually meeting friends, stories about her past that she had embellished or changed to make herself look better. She tried to justify everything by saying she has anxiety about people leaving her, stemming from her parents' messy divorce when she was young. She claims she lies as a defense mechanism, trying to make everyone happy and avoid conflict. But I can't help feeling like these are just excuses for manipulative behavior. I couldn't stay in our apartment after this conversation. I packed some clothes and moved in with my brother temporarily. Sarah has been bombarding me with calls and texts since I left. She keeps promising to change and saying she'll do whatever it takes to rebuild trust. She's offered to cut off contact with James, her roommate friend, and anyone else I'm uncomfortable with. She's even sent me screenshots showing she's already blocked them all on social media. But here's the thing, I don't want to be the kind of person who controls who their partner can be friends with. I don't want to be checking her phone or demanding proof of where she's been. That's not the kind of relationship I want. I just wanted honesty from the beginning so I could make my own informed decisions about what I was comfortable with. My brother thinks I'm handling this situation too calmly. He says I should be angrier about the deception. According to him, someone who can maintain lies for this long will never change, they just get better at hiding things. He reminded me that this is exactly how my mom's affairs started, with small lies that grew bigger over time. Sarah's family has gotten involved now too. Her sister called me yesterday, trying to explain that Sarah has always struggled with being completely honest because their parents punished them severely for any mistakes growing up. She says Sarah is in therapy now and is genuinely committed to changing. But I can't help wondering, is she actually in therapy, or is that just another lie to make me stay? The hardest part is that I still love her. When I think about ending things completely, it feels like I'm being torn apart. We built a life together, we have so many plans for the future, and until 2 weeks ago, I thought we were perfect for each other. But how can I marry someone when I question everything they say? I haven't made any decisions yet. I told Sarah I need time to think things through, but honestly, I don't know what there is to think about. Every time I consider giving her another chance, I remember all the times she looked me in the eye and lied without hesitation. Has anyone been in a similar situation? Did the person actually change, or am I just setting myself up for more heartbreak if I stay? The wedding is supposed to be in 8 months, and I need to decide soon whether to cancel everything. Update 2. I wish I had better news to share, but things have gotten even worse since my last update. After reading comments suggesting I should get James's side of the story, I decided to reach out to him. What he told me has completely shattered any remaining trust I had in Sarah. I found James on Facebook and sent him a message explaining who I was. He agreed to meet me at a local coffee shop. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I definitely wasn't prepared for what he revealed. According to James, Sarah's entire story about their breakup was a lie. He never cheated on her with their roommate. In fact, he was the one who caught Sarah cheating, not with one person, but with 3 different guys from their friend group. He showed me old text messages and photos that proved his version of events. There were screenshots of conversations where Sarah admitted to the affairs, photos of her with other men at times she claimed to be working late, and even a long email she wrote to him begging for forgiveness after he discovered everything. The most disturbing part was how she had manipulated their entire social circle. She had spread the story about James and the roommate cheating, playing the victim so well that many of their friends cut ties with James. He moved to a different city partly to escape the drama. The roommate, who Sarah claimed to have forgiven and stayed friends with, was actually one of the only people who stood by James and tried to expose Sarah's lies. When I confronted Sarah with this evidence, she initially tried to deny everything. She claimed James was lying, that the screenshots were fake, that he was just trying to ruin her life again. But when I showed her the email, the one she had written herself, she finally broke down. She admitted everything. Not only had she cheated multiple times, but she had orchestrated an elaborate lie to cover it up. She said she was afraid of being seen as the villain, so she flipped the story and made James the cheater. She told this lie so many times over the years that she said she almost started believing it herself. What really got to me was her explanation for maintaining the lie with me. She said when we first started dating, she planned to tell me the truth eventually. But as she saw how strongly I felt about honesty and how much I despised cheating because of my mom's affairs, she became terrified of losing me. Each time she considered coming clean, she convinced herself it would hurt me less to never know the truth. I asked her about all those times she talked about how painful it was to be cheated on, all those conversations where she comforted me about my parents' situation and acted like she understood the victim's perspective. She just cried and said she got caught up in her own lies. The worst part? She's still lying. After I left that night, I got a message from one of James's friends. Apparently, those coffee meetings Sarah had with James before our engagement weren't just innocent conversations. They had been sleeping together again. The friend sent me security camera footage from their apartment building showing Sarah leaving late at night on days she claimed to be working. I haven't confronted her about this last revelation yet. Honestly, I don't see the point. She'll probably just create another elaborate lie to explain it away. I feel like such a fool for not seeing through her deception earlier. All those truth sessions we had, all those times she looked me in the eye and swore she was being honest, it was all an act. My brother is helping me look for a new apartment. I've already spoken to a lawyer about breaking our lease. The wedding venue deposit is lost, but that's the least of my concerns right now. My head is spinning thinking about how many times she must have lied to me over the years, about big and small things. Her family is still trying to defend her. They say she's been diagnosed with some personality disorder that makes her lie compulsively, that she started intensive therapy, that she deserves another chance. But I can't believe anything anymore. For all I know, the therapy and diagnosis are just more lies to gain sympathy. I know now that I'll never be able to trust her again. Every word out of her mouth would make me question whether she's telling the truth. I'm angry, not just at her but at myself for being so blind. How did I not see what was right in front of me? I guess the next step is telling our friends and family that the wedding is off. I'm dreading having to explain everything, but I know I'm making the right decision. I just hope my next update will be about how I'm moving on with my life, rather than discovering more lies. Update 3. This will be my final update on this situation. I want to thank everyone who supported me through this difficult time. Your comments and messages helped me stay strong when I was doubting my decisions. After my last update, things got messier before they got better. When I officially called off the wedding, Sarah went into full damage control mode. She started telling everyone a completely different version of events. According to her, I was having a mental breakdown because of unresolved issues from my parents' divorce, and I was overreacting to innocent mistakes she made years before meeting me. Her family has been absolutely horrible through all of this. Her mother has been calling my parents daily, telling them I'm destroying her daughter's life over a few white lies. Her sister even showed up at my workplace to make a scene, telling my coworkers that I was emotionally abusive and controlling. I had to involve HR and security to handle the situation. What's really frustrating is how many of our mutual friends have taken her side. She's incredibly convincing when she cries and tells her story about being a changed person who's being punished for past mistakes. Some friends who initially supported me have started suggesting that maybe I should give her another chance, that everyone deserves forgiveness. But they don't know everything. After my last update, 3 other women reached out to me through social media. All of them had dated James's friends, and all of them had similar stories about Sarah's manipulative behavior and compulsive lying. One of them even shared screenshots of Sarah bragging about how she could make any man believe anything if she cried enough. I've moved to a different part of town now. My brother helped me find a nice apartment, and I'm slowly rebuilding my life. I had to change my phone number because Sarah kept creating new accounts to contact me after I blocked her everywhere. She even sent me a lengthy letter through her therapist, if the therapist even exists, claiming she's been diagnosed with some rare psychological condition that makes her lie, and that she's making progress in treatment. The hardest part has been dealing with the financial aftermath. We had already paid deposits for most of the wedding vendors, and some of them were non-refundable. Sarah's father threatened to sue me for his share of the deposits, claiming I broke the engagement without just cause. Thankfully, my lawyer advised me to keep all the evidence of Sarah's deception, which shut down any legal threats pretty quickly. I've started seeing someone new recently. I was hesitant at first, but my therapist helped me realize that not everyone is a pathological liar like Sarah. Still, I'm much more cautious now. I fact-check everything and trust my gut when something feels off. Some might call it paranoid, but I call it protecting myself. Sarah is apparently telling people she's writing a book about forgiveness and redemption based on our story. Knowing her, she'll probably paint herself as the misunderstood heroine and me as the villain who couldn't let go of the past. But I know I made the right choice in walking away. To everyone who's in a similar situation, trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't let anyone gaslight you into accepting lies and deception as normal behavior. And remember that it's okay to walk away from someone who repeatedly betrays your trust, no matter how much you love them. I won't be posting any more updates about this situation. It's time to close this chapter of my life and move forward. Thank you all again for your support and advice through this journey.